What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or
Still to be happy about.
you're up 2-0?
Job's not finished. Job finished? No, I don't think so.
It's comeback season, baby! Wahoo! They're not ready for it! They're not ready for it! You're coming back! After all the failures, the hardships, the struggle!
It doesn't matter whether I achieve all of my goals or I don't achieve all of the goals. In 3 generations, I'll be forgotten, and the only people who were naysaying against me will also be dead. And so then it's like, just do it for me.
You can't be isolated, alone, without responsibility, and pursuing your hedonistic nonsense, and not be insane and miserable. Those are all the same thing.
Oh yeah, you got the resume now, baby! Wahoo! It's time to win! Alright, so get out! And have some faith! You got it, baby!
And then when I wake up every day, there's only one voice I have to listen to. I think that the more you flex whatever that muscle is of like independent thinking, the more it becomes the default way that you think. And then everyone else's action is just start looking more and more insane to you.
Take action. You got to take action and move forward. And if you don't, the downward spiral doesn't end. And if you allow it to continue to go down, that's where it's going to end up. And so you just have to, what are my options? Abandon the whole thing? Like, no, that's not the option. That is not the option. What can I make better right now? And start to reassemble things and put them back together.
It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely. You talk about that you were kind of, lonely by yourself. I was the same way. And that used to hurt me growing up. Now I thrive in that shit.
What's the alternative? It's the first question. What other choice do I have? So I got 2 choices in that moment. I can sit there and think, nothing's going to go right. Poor me. It's unfair. I cannot believe this happened. I cannot believe it. And if you have that mindset, you're guaranteed to get the results that you're thinking. Things are not going to work out for you. So what am I going to do? I'm going to sit there. I'm going to be like, listen, at least I have this. At least I have that. At least I got this going on.
If you're going to do it, do it. Say what you can do. Do what you say. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over-leverage yourself. Don't over-leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive.
Failure is not the opposite of success. That is actually a part of success.
Small steps. I remember advice to a friend that was going through a period of low mood and was feeling bad about not being able to get out of bed and wasn't able to show up and all of this stuff. And I was like, dude, you need to literally see every single micro step. Like, you're in bed. You have gone to the bathroom a couple of times. You haven't seen sunlight in a few days. You've been ordering Uber Eats to the door and, sort of looking at the floor as the delivery guy arrives. Like, you need to think about getting out of bed in the most rudimentary steps possible. So what's the first thing you need to do? You need to pull the covers off you.
It's not an intellectual trick. There's no, I'll intellectually deny it, so then I'll talk myself in, so now I can...
Not faking it until I make
bam.
it. Bam! Yeah.
Fait accompli. No, it didn't happen.
This is the Tony Robbins quote, but it's just when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. And I think pain moves people far, far more effectively than pleasure does.
Well, that was one of the things that is so surprising about growing up through difficulty. So loneliness is one example, right? Mm-hmm. Growing up as a lonely kid. What you realize is a lot of the things that you feared or hated or embarrassed about as a child end up being the genesis of the things that you're most proud about as an adult. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you can work and thrive in solitude gives you the opportunity to be able to move to America and start a podcast, or decide to do Hell Week 3 times in a row, or it doesn't matter how long or dark the course is, you're just going to stay.
Mom, how do you think you're living so long? Well, I can't imagine not being here. Geez, oh man, that's pretty good. No, I really can't. I honestly cannot imagine not being here. So she's beaten 2 types of cancers on aspirin.
Like the easy way to prove it is like point a gun at someone's head and you have absolute compliance and they will do what they need to do, right? Automatically, just like that. Like death is the great motivator and the gun just reminds you. And so I think that if you can create the figurative gun to your head of the pain that you're experiencing, and then I'm a big fan of future casting out negative scenarios. So people talk about like positive visualization. I prefer negative visualization, which is what if I keep doing what I'm currently doing for the next 10 years? What will my life look like then? That usually takes my current pain and then just magnifies it. And then that allows me to get my action threshold high enough that it goes over the edge so that I can take that first move. And so if you know what the inputs outputs are of what you need to do, the guy who has the little quote on his wall, and you figure out whatever fuel you've got, not the one you wish you had, but the one you've got, and you use that to do the first input, you've crossed the line.
You know, there's something too. So people ask me about jiu-jitsu and they don't like to fight. They don't like the idea of it. They don't like the physical, close contact, whatever the case may be. Like, and they'll say, I don't like it. How long do I have to do it for? And one of the things that I say is you have to do jiu-jitsu until you submit someone while you're training with them. And the reason I say that is because if you can train long enough that you submit someone, all of a sudden you go, oh, wow, I made progress.
We were in the Army one time in boot camp, and me and this one guy, he just got a letter from his wife leaving him. And I will never forget, we're in the bunk, we got 60, 70 of us at this one floor, and I'm looking at him, African-American guy, probably 25, 26 years old, he's crying. And I go up to him, I'm 18 years old, I said, are you good? He says, no, man, I'm not good. I said, what happened? Hands me the letter. His wife left him for another guy that he knew, they were friends. Imagine you're running, what are you thinking about? We have imagination. What are you visualizing as a man? That your wife is hooking up with him, and what is he doing to your wife? This is your wife, she just left you. And you have to stay focused, and you have to do push-ups, and people are screaming in your face, what am I gonna do about it? Super, super difficult for him. And I sat there, I said, listen, man, can you walk? Yes. Can you talk? Yes. Can we do this? Yes. I said, look, man, let's just kind of start with that and get back at it.
Just the most basic ones of like living the life that you don't want, not wearing what you want to wear, not dating who you want to date, not living where you want to live. Like you're living at home and you want to move and your parents say no and you don't make the move, or you're dating a girl because she's socially accepted, by your friend group, she's safe, but like there's always some distance in between you, but you're like, I don't want to risk it, right? Or like you're in the job and every day you go there and you're like, it's okay. And the idea of just living an okay life just sounds so terrifying to me that the freedom to fail over and over again is still more fulfilling to me. At least it feels like it's real than walking through kind of on autopilot.
A lot of people, wonder, how did you become this? How did you become so vulnerable? How are you doing a podcast now when you were this kid? You overcame things. You fought them. And now this is what happens. This is on the other side of overcoming. You become very, very powerful when you overcome yourself. All those things you once cowered from, you were afraid of, when you face them eye to eye every day, you now become a person who has a great podcast.
To me, the idea of optimism, feeling that everything's going to work itself out. I grew up in a very difficult environment where I didn't have a lot to look forward to. But to me, I look forward to watching a game on Saturday. That was enthusiasm, no matter how bad Monday or Tuesday was. So that came back to here, now growing and building a business. You always have to look forward to what's happening in the future. And that optimism will give you more chances in life.
I told a story on the episode that I did with Goggins about bullying in school. Yeah. And this was something where I opened up about a topic that I haven't spoken about a ton because it made me feel weak and it made me feel vulnerable and so on and so forth. One of the things that's only really recently happened, and it's actually been assisted by the guy that reached out and messaged me. This dude messaged and said that he was sorry for what had happened. His daughter was going to school and it made him reflect on his time at school and how he treated me. And he was like, dude, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. I don't even know if you're going to see this. Yeah. I'm happy that you seem to be happy, but I just had to get it off my chest. And that really helped. Not that I was carrying much, but one of the questions, you'd spoken about your dad and this kind of authoritarian relationship and living out that dream. How did you avoid, or how have you got yourself to a stage now where you're no longer driven by a chip on your shoulder toward him? Because I think that there are a lot of people that go through challenges in their past that find fuel in it, and they go, wow, I can be fueled by hatred. Phenomenal. Totally. I can alchemize this toxic thing into something which is useful.
Totally.
Yes.
I see the reward. And so do those little things, but do those little things until at the end of the day you go, that was a pretty good day. Like, because if you just get up and, okay, well, I got out of bed and Chris said get out of the bed, but I still freaking don't like, I still feel like crap, right? Okay, well, get out and do a little bit more and do a little bit more and do a little bit more and do a little bit more. And you can stop when you get to the end of the day and you go, okay, you know what? Today was a pretty freaking cool day.
You know, I played the victim for a lot of my life, and my cellmate got me into fitness. And I remember he was asking me about my story, because he's like, you're going to work out with me someday. I was in the middle of opiate detox. Horrible, for weeks. And he's like, well, what happened to you? Like, what did you do? And I'm like, my parents got divorced, kids picked on me. He's like, no, like, what did you do? And essentially he said to me, he's like, quit being his exact words. And I was like, what? He's like, you're blaming everybody else for your problems but yourself.
There's value to that, of going, well, this sucked. I don't know how to do this, but if I just do the opposite.
And so I think that's a lot of the choices that other people make that seem insane to me now, but didn't seem insane to me a decade ago. You know what I mean? I think it's just like, as you practice taking more agency, taking more responsibility for the decisions, then you just get better and better at it. And then it just seems more and more ridiculous. They're like, I just can't quit my job. And you're like, why? Like, no, physically, why? Like, why can't you quit your job? Like, you know what I mean? They start hyperventilating. And it's like, could you move in with your parents? Could you move in with a friend? Could you split rent? I mean, I could, but I mean, other people who are going to die in 100 years would think what?
I grew up in a very working class town northeast of the UK, famous only for having the highest teen pregnancy rating in England. And then it lost that, so it didn't even have that anymore. And I think there's that idea of food deserts in America, where it's areas in which it's difficult to get good food. And I think that Stockton-on-Tees in the 90s was a role model desert, at least for me. So I wasn't around many people like the person that I wanted to be like. And at the time, I think I was desperately looking like a thirsty man parched for water. There's somebody that would be that. But in retrospect, again, ironic, there were a lot of people around me that were people I didn't want to be.
I think my realization was, first the goal was make as much as my dad, then it was make more than my dad, then it was make more than my dad had ever made. And I realized that the approval that I sought was always going to be moved, right? But like when my dad and I didn't really speak a ton. We texted, 2-minute phone call, hey, you're alive, okay, cool. But that was kind of like for 5-ish years after I left home to go do the gym thing. And only once Gym Launch was like printing money. And so I think I was taking home $1.5 million a month at like 27 or something like that. And he gave me a call out of the blue, and like my dad doesn't like cold call me. And so I'm sitting at dinner and I step outside and he says, hey, you're gonna want to sit down for this. And I was like, okay. He's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, about what? And he was like, everything.
Friend made this point to me, and it's such a fucking smart point that I've never thought of, despite the fact I've lifted weights for like 20 years. Going to the gym, but muscular training in the gym, is one of the only pursuits in life where during the act of doing the thing, you see the future progress of where you will be if you keep doing the thing. So if I'm trying to learn Italian with you and we're on Duolingo or whatever the app is, at no point during the process of learning Italian do I understand what it would be like in 6 months' time to be proficient in Italian. But if you go to the gym and you get a pump, you go, hey, if I keep doing this for 6 months, this is what I'll look like flat in a little while.
You have to want it. You have to want to be better. And it starts off with, you have to have pride in yourself. You have to have pride in yourself. You have to have, there's something about you, whether it's your last name, whether it's just the smallest thing, you have to be proud of yourself. And if you have no pride in yourself, I can't give it to you.
Because you're always going to compromise. You're always going to fold.
Always. I'm very proud of myself. That's why when people said, you know where you can do better than Can't Hurt Me. Roger that. We'll see.
And I remember in the moment actually feeling nothing. and thinking that was curious, and then being like, okay. And I probably should have just like accepted it for the olive branch that he was probably trying to like lean out to me. But here's what I said instead. I said, you know how people get up on stage when they win the awards and they're like, I just want to thank my mom and dad for always being there, always believing in me. I was like, I'm not going to say that. I was like, because you weren't and you didn't believe in me. And right after that, he was like, well, we'll see how long it lasts. And so it was after that phone call that I realized that everything that I'd done to that point was to try and beat him at his game.
And I was able to plant flagpoles in the ground that helped me to avoid the catastrophes and the tragedies that would have awaited me had I have done that. So I don't want his relationship with his family.
Yeah.
I don't want the way that he drinks in order to be able to deal with his emotions. I don't want the way that he speaks negatively about all situations. I don't like the way that...
Yeah.
I think much of life is avoiding pitfalls, not necessarily expediting successes.
Yeah.
The pitfalls can take you out of the game completely in one form or another. And I don't like dwelling on the negatives in that way, but also that's another version of alchemy that we were saying before. Hey, here's something that you think is useless or toxic or not valuable, and you've managed to turn it into something that benefited you. It's the same reason why teaching people lessons that you've gone through from tragedies, traumas, whatever in your life, it's kind of like pointing at the thing that was bad and saying, you didn't get me. I'm going to make sure that you're not going to get them either.
And he's like, you have the choice to change. You have two choices. Be a man, look yourself in the mirror and say, you got yourself here, or be a little, go cry in the corner and say, woe is me. And that conversation changed my life because for years, I was blaming the boogeyman for everything. And it feels good because then it takes your power away. It like, you don't have to be accountable anymore. But it's a trap that so many people fall into for years, if not decades.
Because everything my dad cared about, and not everything, he's a good guy, like, we're fine now. But like, when I was growing up, and it's fairly common in most foreign families to be very like money driven. And I always knew that kind of subconsciously, and he would never say this, but like I felt it because whenever he introduced somebody, he'd tell me how much they made immediately. He'd be like, this is John makes this. Like, this is Bob, he makes this. Like, it was just like the worth and the name was like immediately tied together. And so I realized that I was trying to win his game rather than playing my game.
Yeah. And even looking at the things that are bad and going, oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I mean, the push off, you have established leverage rather than the create. You're going to lean into something. You also need something to push up. The push off is what you're leaning into is that mystery going forward, right? That ironic strategy that you have something to push off well, I don't know what I do want, but I do know I don't want that. You have leverage.
Yes.
It's there.
And one of my favorite ones is, and I say this all the time to Layla, like whenever we're getting to some sort of like mini complaint, it's like, if you zoom out far enough, you can't see the earth. So we're talking about like, oh man, they're going to mess up this order on this vendor's, blah, blah, blah. I was like, if you zoom out far enough, you can't see the earth. It's just like, it just puts everything immediately into perspective of how ridiculous some of the things that we're concerned about are.
It's that pride that wakes you up. Now I'm not talking about bad pride. I'm the attention to detail for the human being I want to do. I call this thing like, I want to be the standard. I want to be that guy. Like every place I went in the military, there was this ethos about how this place is, how we're going to live, how we're going to represent ourselves. And I walked around and I saw that most people didn't live up to that ethos. Like if you go to whatever company, they had this mission statement on how we want to run our company. I made one for myself.
And I think when that happened, it was the same instance of kind of like the blame finger, but just at a different level of saying like, okay, well, I don't blame my dad anymore, but I'm still playing his game. And so I'm winning not my game, I'm winning someone else's. And so I think when I was like, okay, well then I have to define the game and the meaning of the game that I want to play, I have more responsibility now because I have to define the rules of what matters most to me, etc. But that was where I feel like I got, and maybe there's more that I'll unpack later, but that was kind of the next level, at least for my awareness of how I perceived what I was going after.
We always say, well, who are you? Once you figure out who you are. And we ask, I try not to ask my kids that now. Well, I want you to know who you are. And a part of that who's helped me is Bob Dylan's lines, like, I don't know what all this talks about who we are, man. We are all just what we create ourselves to be. And that gives me a little, oh, that's relaxing. But it's so much easier to figure out who you're not. And if you start eliminating the who I'm not, by sheer mathematics, you end up
moving toward
more of what feeds you and who you are. And it's a hell of a lot easier thing to go, how can I get rid of some bullshit in my life than it is to go, well, how do I go to my true self?
Sean Puri's got this thing where he says, don't follow what most people do because you don't want the results that most people get. The average person is obese, likely to be divorced, and has less than 1K in the bank. It feels safe to do what everyone else is doing, but it's actually a terrible decision.
It's like the best way to guarantee to not have the life that you want is to do what everyone else is doing. Unless you want what everyone else has, which no one does.
Being able to think for yourself and treating it like a muscle, I think, is a smart way to consider it, because in the beginning it's really, really hard. Totally. You've been resting on societal norms and the way you've dealt with past trauma and your parents' expectations and what all of your friends do and what's accepted and all of this stuff for so long that when it first comes to you needing to step on that muscle, it's like trying to move your ears. Like, all humans have got muscles that can move their ears, but because no one works it as a child, they just atrophy away. And this is the ear muscle of personal growth.
And that is why, if people can make up a mission statement, an ethos in which they want to live by, and every morning you wake up, you hold yourself accountable to that mission, not a company's, your own. Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything.
It's so true. It is so true. Just right now, I came from the second sit down I'm doing with Terrence Howard, the actor, and this is the first time I've seen him say, his first time he went on Cosby's show, they did his part, and Bill Cosby afterwards said, hey man, that was a very good part. I think you could maybe be a regular here. And then he goes and tells all his friends, hey guys, I'm gonna be on Cosby, he's 19 years old. And then no episode with him in it. So he's furious, he comes back, he goes to the studio, walks in, sees Bill Cosby, says, hey, can I talk to you? He says, come into my office. He says, I noticed you didn't use my clip. I was in Cosby. You said, I'm gonna do great. He says, yeah, not everything makes it in. He says, but you said I'm gonna be back on. You said we had something. Yeah, but my thoughts changed. He says, but you made this promise, and what about this? He says, yeah, and I changed my mind. So he says, from that moment when I left, I kept blaming him for everything. And then I realized, guess what? If you don't change your own way of doing things, sometimes things are not gonna go your way. Sometimes you are doing the right things.
Do I want to press the accelerator more quickly? Or do I want to take my foot off the fucking brake?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And sit there and because I'm banging my head here, and I'm going to eliminate some of that stuff. I want to get some of those things out of the way that had another hangover. I drank the same amount. When I didn't, you don't usually have a hangover. Oh, maybe it was the conversations I was having. Maybe it was, maybe it was the people I was hanging out with. Those, just clocking some of those things and eliminating them is a much easier place to start. And maybe more valuable? I mean, I don't know. I always like to think that the UFC champ or the boxing heavyweight champ that believes they are the greatest is more empowering than the one who's out for revenge. But man, the one out for revenge wins a lot of the times.
I think you spoke about people that break the law in an attempt to make money. And you said, we sacrifice the thing we want for the thing that's supposed to get it. So we sacrifice freedom for money in the hopes that the money will give us freedom.
Yeah.
Downstream from that, this is one of the best things that I learned for all of last year. And you created the framework and then I filled it in. So I talked about the tension between success and a desire to feel like we're enough. And I think that this speaks to what you're on about here. Success is a strange thing. Presumably we want success because we think a more successful life will bring us more happiness, meaning and fulfillment. Here's the problem. We sacrifice the thing we want, happiness, for the thing which is supposed to get it, success.
Sometimes the other person just doesn't want to give you that opportunity. Sometimes a client changes their minds. You'll close a big deal. You're about to get a $10,000 check and you're all happy. You're going to the bank, client calls and cancels. Now what do? You were already counting the bills, your car payment, your phone, your this, your that. And now I changed my mind. These things are going to happen. But if you think long term and you're able to make it past the tornado and you take personal responsibility, you have a fighting chance.
Received, orders given.
Yep.
Expect results.
Expect results. That's right.
So dope.
That is it. That is it. And when you hear that from somebody who gets it, you know it because you can look in their eyes. You feel that energy, man. It connects immediately. They're out here to get a job done. Roger that.
Yeah.
Failure can make you miserable, but I'm not sure that success will make you happy. And if you end up with an equation, if you could imagine, like, we sacrifice happiness to achieve success in the pursuit of happiness, like, if you just remove success from both sides of the equation, what are you left with? It's just happiness.
Equals
now,
happiness.
there are... we can't deny the fact that we're statesful beings, that we require external validation. We can't just, go and live in a cave and in peaceful bliss and all the rest of it. Like, there are things that we need to do, but I do feel like a lot of the time we overclock our lives with regards to success and the pursuits that we go through in an attempt to do this. And that we sacrifice the thing we want for the thing which is supposed to get it is like, I see that all the time. I always ask myself, am I overcomplicating this? Like, am I doing more than I need to do? Is there a simpler way to do this?
The one who's pushing against. Yep. Now I'm going to get back at you. Rage. Nothing gets more done than that emotion of rage. Yep. We like to say, no, freedom and light is the one that carries it. Man, I don't know. That's maybe too evolved for us to really grab a hold of. Rage and anger and revenge are mighty powerful emotions.
Yeah.
They get a lot done.
Yep. Especially in the beginning.
It's truly a choice. You're headed towards a terrible life. You're going to lose decades of your life and you don't even know it. So make the better choice for yourself.
And I think that it's such an underspoken about dynamic of training. I really think that is one of the biggest feedback loop mechanisms of why it happened. I mean, I guess in BJJ, if you just learned a particular movement and you've drilled it and drilled it and drilled it, and then you get into rolling and you're like, I've still got it. But next week you're like, where the does my arm, like, I can't remember how the thing. So maybe a tiny bit like that, but I don't think there's anything else. You don't get a pump preview anywhere else on the planet except for in the gym, and I think that's a underspoken about dynamic about why people love it.
I mean, I think this is actually a game theory thing, and you're familiar. Okay, so I can go on it or I can not if you want. Okay.
Bring it on.
Yeah, so I mean, Simon Sinek popularized this, but you have finite and infinite games, right? Finite games where you have known players, agreed upon rules, and an outcome that wins the game, right? And then infinite game, you have known and unknown players, no rules, and the point of the game is to keep the game going. And what happens is that people apply finite rules to infinite games, and then they wonder why it's not working.
It's a potent fuel that's toxic in the long term. And I think that it's the sort of thing that you use to overcome the activation energy, especially the beginning of a thing. I need something to kick me out. The chip on my shoulder from the kids that didn't believe me in school, the fact that I felt like I was mistreated or victimized or in some form there was some limitation placed on me. It's a pretty good fuel. That'll get you a long way.
Yeah.
A finite game would be like baseball. Know the players. At the end of the game, the person you tally up the ones with the most runs, and you win. And you can't hold the ball and run it around the bases. Like, there's rules of play. With an infinite game, the Vietnam War isn't a simple example that Simon Sinek gives, which is basically the U.S. lost the Vietnam War because they were applying a finite structure, which is we're going to win this war, and the Vietnamese people were playing an infinite game structure, which is we're going to stay alive and keep fighting. And as long as someone is staying alive and keeping fighting, they will beat the person who's trying to end something. And so the infinite frame always conquers the finite. And the thing is that most of the games worth playing are infinite. And so if you were trying to get in shape, you don't win getting in shape. The point is to stay in shape for the rest of your life. You don't win at marriage. The point is to stay married. You don't win at business. The point is to stay in business and keep doing business. So the point of the game is to keep playing.
That being said, you don't see much progress, the next day. You get a pump, and depending on your physical makeup, like if you're overweight, you don't see a pump, which is a bummer. And so if you're overweight, you're not going to get any gratification going to the gym external. You're not going to see anything. So you got to keep going. You got to keep going until you start making some progress. Until you can do a pull-up. Once you can finally do a pull-up, okay. I've heard once that you can't be overweight and do a pull-up. Like it's not possible. So pull-up's a good goal to have.
But you do not want to be using that 2, 3, 4 decades down the line.
Well, and you'll what do you call it? Self-implode, because you can't recognize your allies from your enemies. And you start taking it out on your allies. We see it in relationships. You start taking it out on your mate. You start taking it out on your wife, your husband, your lover, and like I'm an ally, man. We're on the same team. But you're back to that non-deserving. No, I gotta bleed. No, I gotta win. I gotta get angry. Now
Well, also the lesson that you've taken is enemies are more functional, motivating sources than allies.
Right.
Therefore, if I can make enemies out of allies, I will just find lily pad. I'll just keep jumping.
And I think if the six, and I would imagine success, if you put all of those things together, it's an infinite game. And so the point of success is to do the things that make you successful. And so if you're doing the things that are making you successful, then you are by definition winning. And I think that for me, redefining what is a perfect day and living as many of those days in a row as I possibly can, to me, that's winning.
There's enough food, enough cake for everybody out here to eat. So there's a lot of people in this world who don't want to see you make it because they think you could take a piece of their pie.
And yeah, you know, as someone who used a chip on his shoulder for a good while to get some activation energy, I much prefer the version that I am now. And I obviously have a relatively contrarian worldview, but which is that like when we die, nothing happens, and you know we know what it was like to die because we've all been dead before, which is before we were alive. But I don't think that what I will do will ultimately matter in 500 million years. And so that kind of eliminates a lot of the pressure for me around like the external outcome. Sure, I'm human, there are definitely motivators, but if I can just over time chip away at how much that weighs on the scale, and I can keep putting more and more coins on the other side towards the infinite game of like the point of the game is to keep playing. And like there are some things that I remind myself over and over again. It's like the point of the game is to keep playing. That's the point.
Grind every day, one foot in front of the other, bro. And I promise you, I'm gonna be lapping these folks, bro. Give it a year. Watch what happens.
It does not matter how good life is. You can lose everything in a heartbeat. And I like to think that no matter how bad life gets, it can always get worse. And if you do the right things and develop the perfect mindset to get you out of that place, you will get out of there.
It's jarring to people when you're just honest, and like really honest. Like, hey, do you want to go to this to Sarah's birthday party? No. And they're like, what do you mean? You busy? They're like, no.
Now, I have a visual up here of a beast, and I like to think that we all, in a sense, are in the belly of the beast. And if you're not in it, you're very close to it because things can change like that. Now, what inspired me to make this video was a mechanical issue on a car, right? Check engine light comes on. I go plug it into a computer, I see what's wrong with it, and it's just something simple. You know, it may be an alternator. For me the other day, it was for me to clean my terminals on my battery. A person will see that check engine light in their life. They will get scared of that minor maintenance, you know, or they'll be rebuilding something. They're scared of these minor maintenances or these things going on. But that minor maintenance, for you to upkeep something like you cleaning your room, for you to pick up that sock and those pants each day, that keeps you from having to redo everything.
I'm not busy, but I don't want to go. People have a hard time just saying no to things. And I would encourage you, if you're listening to this, like, try saying no to, try actually telling the truth when you don't want to do something.
Athletes who turn up to compete, they put a bit more effort in. They try to be the best amongst their group. Then there's the athletes who train to win. They train every day, every session, so that they win on match night. And then there are just those very few players who train to dominate. They train so hard that winning is inevitable on race night.
So in your life, when you ignore that check engine light, you get to a point in your life which I like to call the drift. You start drifting off the cliff into the mouth of the beast, into the mouth of many, many problems that will eventually overwhelm you. Now, I need you to understand, you know, you might say, well, oh, my problems are a lot bigger than that. Well, hey, that's just the same. If I was rebuilding a car and it took me $10,000 to rebuild the whole project, can't I put up $1? Can't I save 2? Can't I save 10? Maybe I need a full engine. Maybe I can buy the turbo. Maybe I can buy the alternator over here. Maybe I can buy some spark plugs. Maybe I can do these minor things to contribute to the bigger thing.
What do you want? Because a lot of people are unclear what they want from life. They don't sit down and think through. We are writing our own life story every day, and yet we don't think about it. Who do we want to be? Where do we want to live? What life do we want to lead? When we've finished our life, come to the end of our life and look back, what do we want to say that we've done? So, what do you want is a very powerful question. And then if an athlete says, I want to be the best, Bill, fine. How badly do you want it? because you've got to pay a price to be the best.
I need you to start training me again. Stop it. I'm serious. I see that. Look, I already started, Kev.
Started what?
With just the bar.
Vinny, no. What are you doing? This is insane. You looked in the mirror lately? You see that thing on your head? Come on, you heard what the doctor said. You're risking your life here.
What life? Upstairs?
No.
But if you don't, you start to drift. Those old habits start to creep in. Your dopamine gets disturbed. Instead of me, I've been through phases in my life where I felt my best after a workout. I felt my best after producing videos. I felt my best after playing my guitar and learning something. It's like you get in this curve where you don't feel good until you have some gummy worms. You don't feel good until you stay in your bed and get on your phone all day. You don't feel your best until you sleep away your days and just get over and over. And it's not about a sunshine or light-like feeling. It's more of a comfort type feeling.
You're missing an enemy. You may have an enemy. You're not thinking about your enemy. What if I told you your business plan, goals, everything you're doing for 2023 logically is not going to get the best out of you unless if you have a forced opposition or somebody preventing you from having your dreams become a reality.
How much are you willing to suffer? Because I work with gold medal champions and they suffer every day. They work enormously hard. They sacrifice enormous things in order to get that success.
Because I believe when you get past a certain point, at least I can speak directly for myself, I am more comfortable being uncomfortable because I am in my element of comfort. I operate best when I'm under pressure, but when something is on the line, and it's like when I'm putting in it's like when I put in that type of work, when I'm up against that wall, that gives me the best results in my life, and that comforts my soul more. It may be a little stressful to the body and the mind, but my soul is comfortable. And then on the other side of things, when I fall into a wormhole of comfort, it may feel good to the body. It may please and satisfy the mind, but my soul is screaming.
You're not entitled to anything. You don't necessarily deserve anything. All you have control over is how you direct your attention and how you comport yourself. What are the actions that you're taking, how you're responding to the world around you. And when you drill that down into the tiniest little things that you're doing every single day and try to repeat that with just rigorous, relentless consistency, that is how you move mountains, that's how you build mountains, that's how you change your life. And that is not something that's going to trend on Twitter. It's not sexy. There's nothing sexy about it. It sucks. And I wish it wasn't that way. And throughout all of my reinventions and the changes that I've made in my life, I didn't do them willingly. I did them because I was in so much pain.
Ultimately, no one will fight you. No one wants to be the one to send you back to the hospital.
$1.6 million.
Let's get it done. Let's get it. Do you think I'm gonna lose this fight? We'll call a fight for Christ's sake. Not yet. Come on, he's dying out there. No. You need it. What my dad say? Don't matter what he said. All right?
We'll go out there and show me how you do things. Show me how you live. Show me how you fight.
You show you how I fight?
Yeah. So you are.
And that's what I mean by that dopamine balance, or however you want to figure it out. It's like that gets disturbed and you start skipping the things that are important. You start skipping over that maintenance. And then that check engine light, if it hasn't come on, it comes on. You don't want to ignore that type of stuff, okay? Now, if you continue down that path and you don't fix what's going on, because I don't care what nobody says, there is a lot of things in life that catch you suddenly. But it's like when you think back at it, you saw the warning signs. You go through a relationship, your heart gets broken out of nowhere, something happens out of nowhere, but when you look back, you see those warning signs. You have to keep your eyes open so you don't slip into the mouth. Now, when you get in the mouth, the beast will swallow you.
The pain of my circumstance exceeded the tremendous amount of fear that I was harboring about doing something different, doing something that would change the outcomes. Because if you're doing something in a certain way and you're always getting the same outcome, another recovery trope, that's the very definition of addiction, right? Like until you start doing things differently, you're always going to get the same result.
Right? You can fight and climb out and get back up to the cliff, but that beast will swallow you. Now, when you get down into the throat, I have the throat visualized kind of like some waves in water. It's a little guy. If I have to do a close-up, I will. The little guy is kind of fighting for his life, and I just did a little stick figure. And then one guy, he's on the boat. Some people fight to get out of the throat of the beast and climb back out of the mouth. Some take a raft down into the deepest parts.
And yet we're so calcified around who we are and what we're doing, and this is my identity, and this is who I am, that it becomes very difficult to break free of that and to live in a more fluid state where you are in the process of always trying to deconstruct the beliefs that you hold, and really get honest with yourself about the fallacy of the identity that you hold so dear.
But regardless, this is where you have to be resilient. This is where you have to start rebuilding. And this is where you are uncomfortable, but you can change these things. So you can resist what life is trying to give you, the comforts. You can resist what's easy right then and there, and you can climb out of there. Or you can just resist the better side of life, because life will also give you opportunities to fix your life. So it's kind of like what you want to do. What you want to do here. And then you can either rebuild your life, rebuild the habits that, made you better in life, or you can rebuild the things that destroyed you.
What are lower companions?
Lower companions is another term from recovery. As the adage goes, as you pursue your drinking or using career, it starts out fun. Drugs work, right? It's a good time. Drinking is pretty reliable. It's going to produce a certain kind of effect, right? Because it's dysfunctional on day one. They do it because it's filling a need. It is doing something positive in their life. In my case, it made me feel like myself. It was like wrapping myself in a warm blanket where all my insecurities and my fears would vanish, and I was able to be a social person in social settings, which was something that was very difficult for me my whole life.
Because I feel like a lot of us, when we have a certain goal, we'll go achieve it. Then when you get there, you stop doing what it took to get there. And then you wonder, well, man, it's like I did it one time, I don't know what to do. Do what you did. Now, it may not look exactly the same, but the method is still the same. When I got the most results out of my life, I figured out first, what did I want, right? If I couldn't figure that out, I figured out what did I not want. That gave me a better idea of what I wanted. And then I saw, okay, if this is what I want, I see this is what it takes to get what I want. And I tried, that didn't work. And I tried something else, that didn't work. Boom, I tried this, it kind of worked. Tried it again, it worked a little better. Tried it again, well, damn it, it worked. So when I lose my progress, when I get off my rocker, I go back to baseline because that is what helped me.
It functioned that way for quite some time until it didn't. And then your life slowly starts to degrade. You start making decisions that you rationalize that aren't in your best interest. It becomes a little lonelier. The chaos factor starts to increase. The negative repercussions of your behavior start to stack and escalate. It starts to get uncomfortable. Your higher companions, your good friends, the people that love you, who have your best interest at heart, start to flee from the hills. And you begin to search out other people who are vibrating at your wavelength, who are not going to give you a hard time for your behavior and are more than happy to do the thing that you want to do, which is to get loaded or get high. So you find yourself in really compromising, strange, sometimes scary situations with people you would not ordinarily hang out with.
Right, and that allows me to climb back out. But in the event that I go down, me personally, I respect the climb. Sometimes you need to go to the climb, because what the climb is the up and down momentum, right? On the backside of things, it might look scary because you've drifted off the cliff into the mouth of the beast, down through the throat. Now you're in this climbing stage where life is up and down, and it feels like I take 3 steps forward just to take 10 steps back. Maybe you need that. Maybe you took 3 steps forward to realize that, hey, I can move forward, and you took 10 steps back because something was gonna fall and hurt you. You don't look at things at the bigger picture because you're so damn close to it. You can't even see the bigger picture because you're all the way close to it.
Because you share this one thing, which is you just want to lose yourself in this substance, or perhaps with people who are addicted to a certain behavior. It could be gambling. It could be, it's like anything. You're going to find people who are going to co-sign whatever behavior it is. And then as the addiction escalates even more, you start to run through those people. Even they don't want to hang out. And you get lower and lower and lower and lower until there's maybe that one guy, and if not, you're just home alone in a dark room with the shades pulled down. And that's how it ended for me, for sure.
So appreciate the climb, respect the climb. Momentum wins in this climb. When you're going up, respect it. Choose elevation over ease. It's going to be harder to go up, but it's more worth it, right? It's very much so worth it. And sometimes you need to go down to go up. Sometimes you need that. You might need that rest. This is where you can really get those minor repairs in. You know what I'm saying? Your car is down, go in and get your oil changed. Go in and get your tires right. So when that big thing comes, it's all ready to go. It's primed up and ready to go. You ever heard of the concept of making a bed for what you want, building a home for what you want? If I can't have what I want right now, how about I build a home for it? I want a nice fancy car, how about I build a garage for it? I want a beautiful family, how about I build a home for it?
This is going out the day after the Olympia. What do you hope happened yesterday?
Well, I certainly hope I won. Definitely. Easiest answer to give. This year is just very important to me to really want to bring my best package. You know, it sounds cheesy to say, but I've been working hard, going through a lot of adversities and challenges over the years, and every year's had something kind of like get in my way and felt like it was holding me back. This year's had a few earlier on in the year, but at this point, I'm feeling pretty good, feeling pretty set. So I just want to be able to stride into this one. I want to be able to enjoy it. I want to be able to, you know, get off stage, kiss my wife, hold my baby, know that I became the best in the world and maintained a beautiful relationship through it.
Choose elevation over ease. This is the 7th commandment of the chapter labeled the mountain. All right. And the affirmations that follow is I refuse to settle for what is merely comfortable. I honor the path that requires discipline, courage, and endurance. Ease does not shape my spirit, elevation does. I choose the higher path even when comfort invites me to stay. I was not born to remain where it is easy. I was born to rise.
You're gonna realize you need an enemy. Everybody has an enemy.
You go through all these challenges in life. The ups, the downs, the loop-de-loop, round and round. You fall off the mountain, you scrape, all of this, but you realize that you are the mountain the whole time. Life is going to throw things at you. People are going to come and they're going to disturb you. But at the end of the day, the only one who can save you is you. You could be drowning and I could throw you a rope. I could throw you a life raft or anything. But if you don't get on there, you die.
You say that you're useless to the world if you're not competing and you need enemies to drive you.
I think most people who say they don't have enemies, they probably don't want to tell others they have the enemy or they don't want to disclose it. They're great poker players. I don't know a single person that doesn't have an enemy. Everybody does. We're very good at concealing our insecurities, our emotions, our fears, our wildest desires, our enemies or comments that rub us the wrong way, that wire us. We are very good actors, incredible actors, right? Now, if you have a long time of talking to somebody and you kind of watch them closely, and the more they talk, and then eventually you're going to find some leaks. You're like, oh, I just found one right there. Boom, I found one contradiction right there. Boom, I found one. And you're like, okay, interesting. We all have a little bit of that.
There's only a stick. There's never been a carrot.
So the same thing goes when you look within, right? Introspection. I'm going through a lot in life, but I got to get me out of this. Even though I might not control this, I can't control that. This has happened. This was given to me. I have to climb out so I don't go further into the belly of the beast. I have to do what I need to do now so I don't have to go down here. This is where you build that identity, but you can also lose your identity.
But I do think that when you study the people that do something very big, I'm not talking about small, I'm talking really, really big. We're talking about some interesting people today. You and I have somebody we both respect a lot, Robert Greene, his books. I'm sure you love his books. I love his books. 33 Strategies of War. I couldn't put it down for 2 years straight. I listened to that book every day in my car, straight, every day. It was on repeat for 2 years straight.
When I speak to people, I have to figure out a way to resonate with them. Because all I want to say to them is, let me teach you the real life, how it really is. The reason why you're a loser And the reason why you're not making it, and the reason why you're trying to go through all these, I go to all these conventions, speak all the time. I look in the audience and these people sign up, and every year to go to convention, thinking they're gonna learn something different. No, you're lazy. You know exactly what to do. Because even me, in my state of, I can't read and write, I knew exactly what to do.
I innocently got into sales, and I had a good time in sales and business after I got out of the military. And I wanted to be a bodybuilder, and then I realized I'm 6'4". It's not going to work for bodybuilding to win Mr. Olympia because everybody's 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", maybe 5'11", Ronnie Coleman. But the 6'4" days are behind us. Even Lou Ferrigno didn't win at that height. Arnold did. And then when I got into sales and everybody was a fan, then I started competing, still a little bit of fan. But when I started the insurance company and then I started growing market share, really, then a lot of those people that were fans then started undermining. And I said, got it. This is how it works. You can't be this naive. You can't be this innocent. Competition's out there. If you want to kind of go out there and take market share from others and you want to get bigger, you can't expect for people to sit there and like everything you're doing. That's when I realized you got to choose your enemies wisely.
The same things that can go forward can also go backward, right? Left can turn in the right, up can turn in the down. So I'm just kind of working through it, swinging, right? So if you do go deeper into the belly of the beast, you get to what I call the stir. This could be the intestines, honestly, you going all the way down to the belly, or have esophagus, however you want to do this. You want to go all the way biological and be correct, you can say that or whatever, right? But it just remind me of the intestines, how it's all swirly. But the shift, the stir is where the shift happens. When you are going through it in life, you might fall all the way down and then you get to this place and it's not quite rock bottom. But you're like, all right, I realize that I can't stay here. Because if I stay here, I am going to slip even further.
People want you to do well. They just don't want you to do better than that.
Yes.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. It's not just there. It's not just there permanently for me. So yeah, it's all stick. It's all stick. The only carrot you have is like, maybe. Because whenever I take these tests that are real hard, in the back of my brain, it's like, the good chance you're not gonna make it, Goggins. This ain't you, bro. This ain't you. You weren't born like this. This ain't you, the real you, bro. Study all you want to, but the second that fucking computer comes on with 150 questions, this ain't you, man. And somehow, comes back, I passed. I passed again. But that real me back here every time is saying, that ain't you, bro.
This young guy who's probably full of testosterone, and he's here with Winston Churchill. You go in and this young MP starts gesticulating at the other side. He keeps referring to them as the enemy. Churchill turns to him and he says, that's the opposition, dear boy. The enemy's behind you. And I love that story. And the reason that I love that story is that it often reminds us that symbolically we believe that the biggest obstacle we have to overcome is out there, and many times the call is coming from inside of our own house. I think that the worst enemy that many people have is the voice that's inside of their own head. Now, this voice has probably maybe come from the outside world, but we've now internalized it. We have become our own worst enemy in some regards.
And I have to outwork that voice. When I'm taking that test and I get to a question, I don't fucking know the answer, I'm like, man, and then say, I told you, man, that ain't you. You're 300 pounds, man. You sit at home, you figure out how to do your hair. That's what you do. How to come to school with the reverse baldness when you're 16. That's you. So there is no get out of jail free card. This is why I say stay hard. Because when you weren't given the gifts, the only thing you can do in life is stay hard.
One of my direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I'd look at him and I'd say, good. And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem. And he said, I already know what you're going to say. And I said, well, what am I going to say? He said, you're going to say good. He said, that's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say, good. And I said, well, yeah. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it.
And I know people cannot stand me. They can't stand this talk. This is all you can do. There's no magic pill or a magic potion. All you can do is outwork the man that God created, or woman, in you. And what that looks like is unfun. That's why I said, do not do a documentary on me, because people will not see the truth. They will see what they want to see. Is, I don't want to live like that. Good. And you will live exactly the way you live now, questioning who you are, wondering what is possible, wondering what you are capable of doing. That's how that looks. Or you can be me, which, am I happy? I don't know. Never really thought about it. Don't really care about it. Because all I really cared about was when I looked in that mirror, I saw a piece.
Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good.
Happiness wasn't on the mirror at 16 or when I was 300 pounds. It wasn't like, oh, I'm looking for happiness. No, I'm looking to look at myself in the mirror and say, all right, you did it again today. You a bad boy. Because that just sucks. I have about a couple minutes of that when I got the carrot. The second I lay down and go to bed, the carrot's gone, because I'm waking up all through the night to check the work I did that day. Did I get this drug right? Did I get this right? Did I get that right? What did I do? Oh my God, I'm already losing it.
The only thing that you can do is win so big that all of them constantly compare themselves to you, and then you'll forget they exist. And that's when he said, success is the only revenge. He's like, it's not the best revenge. He's like, it's the only one. There's no other revenge. Because everything else is petty. Everything else does show that you were thinking about these people all day long, which means they win by default.
You have to have the truth from people. Hey, you're not working your butt off hard enough. You're not trying hard enough. We all think we're trying hard, but what are you gauging that off of? Are you gauging off of, like I talked to this one kid the other day, college is kicking my I said, what are you gauging that off of? I go, are you trying? He goes, yeah, I'm trying my ass off. I'm studying hard. I go, what are you gauging trying hard off of? Well, in high school, I didn't have to try at all. And I made great grades. In college, I'm trying hard. You're trying hard compared to what you did in high school, which was it came easy to you. So your reality is something you created off of something easy. So you trying hard is 2 hours of studying.
He's like, all you can do is think about your goal and winning. He's like, and when you win, that's when you become so big that they shrink into irrelevance.
I used to do that when I was fat. Rocky, I mean, people know that was my thing. Round 14 was my thing. And as I got older and older and older, that started to go away. And I started to create out of all these people that I used to watch. Rocky was one, Barnes, Elias from Platoon, Jack from A Few Good Men. You know, he's on the stand going crazy. I saw a lot of these characters that I looked at and I was like, man, I ain't got none of that. But they were characters. After a while, I lived a life so disciplined that everybody that I once looked to, these fake characters, I built that as a man. And when I was younger, I had this image in my mind of what does a man look like to me?
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood. You know, the whole week I was thinking, I want to finish this fight. I'm going to finish this fight before the championship rounds. And this is, you know, I should be able to smash this guy.
Be the one with the crazy dream. Be the one that's not afraid to walk a different path than everybody else because you know deep down you're capable of more. And the truth is, you weren't built to blend in. You weren't made to live a life that feels safe just to make other people feel better. And if you keep choosing comfort, if you keep choosing to play it small, you'll continue to live a life that looks good on the outside but feels empty on the inside. So stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop acting like your ambition is the problem. The people who are meant to be in your life will clap for you when you grow, not beg for you to stay the same. So let all of those people call you crazy. Let them doubt you. Let them laugh at you. Because what they don't understand is this: every legend looked insane before it worked out. And every success story started as a dream that nobody respected. And the only difference between the people who made it and the people who didn't is that the people who made it refused to play small.